Hello, dear radio listeners and viewers joining us via the live stream or replay today. For those of you who don't know, I'm Shantae, also known as Life Coach 614, and I'm thrilled to have each and every one here with us today as we embark on a journey of self care and well being together. Before we dive into our main topic today, let's set a few ground rules to ensure a positive experience for everyone. To maintain a harmonious atmosphere, our dedicated admins and moderators are here to assist us in the chat. Understand that this space is all about sharing, caring, and embracing each other's unique self-care journeys. Your active participation and engagement are key to cultivating the positive energy we value so much. We kindly ask that you be mindful of your contributions, as all donations and subscriptions during the live stream directly support the Self-Care Club LLC. Your generosity helps to create a ripple effect of positivity within our community, enabling us to continue to spread joy on purpose. If anyone is seeking any additional information about the Self-Care Club, or if you are ready to book a one-on-one personalized coaching session with me, please visit selfcareclub.org for more details. Again, that is selfcareclub.org for more details. Now, let's pledge to make this community a beacon of positivity and support for everyone. If you are ready to embark on a new self-care adventure, please flood the chat with some green hearts for me. Thank you, Cal. Thank you, Blue. Thank you, Perk. I see you. I see you, Mir, Rose, still that Texas boy, Lakara, Jordan. I think MJ still rolling with us, y'all. King Beefy, welcome in. Thank you, thank you. All right, so our topic today is embody your worth. Can you guys add that to the chat? Embody your worth. And so today we're talking about the art of setting boundaries, right? Because we know that by setting boundaries, we are improving our self-worth, our value. So today we are going to embody our worth. Thank you. All right, so we know that we live in a world that is constantly demanding our time, our energy, our attention, right? And a lot of times, as you know, as we've seen in that call that I recently had, it leaves us feeling stretched thin. These things, these situations, as they come up when, people try to absorb our time and take our time from us, it leaves us, like I said, feeling stretched thin, right? And it pushes us or leaves us feeling undervalued, unappreciated, right? And so amidst these types of pressures, one of the most empowering steps that we can take in order to set clear and healthy, is to set clear and healthy boundaries, right? So we've got to learn how to place distance between ourselves and these things that drain our energy. And some of these things, it might be situations, it might be relationships, it could very much be people, right? We need to learn how to set healthy boundaries. And setting boundaries is not about building walls. Setting boundaries is about creating space for self-respect and self-worth. So again, our focus is not to build walls up and keep people out, but it is to protect our energy. It is to protect our peace of mind. So today, I just want to share with you guys the importance of setting boundaries and how it can transform your life by protecting your self-worth. And so by understanding and communicating what our limits are, we can then begin to cultivate healthier relationships, which leads to more fulfilling and balanced lives. And I don't know about y'all, but I definitely could use a little balance and harmony in my life. And I definitely don't want to keep entertaining energy vampires, right? I don't want people to just keep showing up and taking. Like the takers are the worst, especially because I'm willing to be a giver. But so there's no need for you to be a taker. You could just be a receiver, right? So, so as a natural giver, I find it hard to deal with people who just take. Meaning, before I can even hand it to you, you got your hand out snatching it from me. And I'm a person who gives my energy freely, and I choose to show up and spread positivity purposely. But then when I have people who just show up and take, I'm like, damn, hold on. Can I put it on the plate before I serve it to you? They just show up with their hand out, like, give it to me. You like, wait, it's not even done. It's like it's not even ready yet, and you want it. You know what I'm saying? Mirror's like, right. Rose like, right. Listen. So first and foremost, we have to start to understand our needs and our values, right? If we're gonna set these healthy boundaries with people, hey Raina, if we're gonna set these healthy boundaries with people, we have to first understand our needs and our values, what's important to us. So our first step would be to take the opportunity or take the time to reflect on what's important to you, not them, to you. How you feeling today, Raina? You've got to start to think about what makes you feel valued, right? What makes you feel respected. Then we also need to spend some time thinking about what drains your energy, what causes you stress. We can't just focus all on the good, right? We got to recognize what our triggers are. So in addition to figuring out what makes us feel valued and respected, we've got to also figure out what is draining our energy and what is causing us stress. Because by identifying these factors, we can start to pinpoint where boundaries are needed. So when you start to recognize the things that make you feel unheard, unvalued, unloved, unappreciated, baby, that's where you start with the boundary. And if it's a person tied to that location, listen, baby, you pin it right on them. Listen, hey, you, we're not gonna do that no more, right? Because by identifying these factors, like I said, we can start to pinpoint where the boundaries are needed. And in order for us to be able to do that, self-awareness is the key, right? Self-awareness is the foundation to us establishing these healthy boundaries with people. So we got to first acknowledge, yes, this is a problem. This is disturbing me. This is making me uneasy or causing me stress and headache and whatever, right? So we need to first be able to identify it and say, yes, this is a problem. We got to acknowledge it. So then we're going to jump into the communication piece, right? We have to learn how to communicate clearly. Some people, let me back up. Growing up, my dad taught me that people can only be held accountable for what they know. And so a lot of times people are draining your energy and they don't know that it's draining your energy. And we're like, oh, it's common sense. They should know. Common sense ain't so common anymore, y'all. So we have to understand that if we want to hold people accountable, we've got to make sure that they know how we feel. We cannot assume that they know how we feel. We cannot assume that they know what it is that they're doing. So we have to, first and foremost, tell them, right? We've got to be able to communicate clearly to say, listen, this is what I like. This is what I don't like. This is what you're doing. This is what I want you to do. Right? This is the energy that you're giving, and this is what I need. Excuse me, you guys. Rich Rising's First Lady, welcome in, sis. So again, we've got to be willing to communicate clearly. In step one, we started understanding our needs. So once you understand your needs, that next step is to begin communication. You've got to be direct and you've got to be specific with your boundaries. I always recommend using I statements to express your needs without sounding accusatory. We don't want them to feel like they've got to put their guard up. We don't want them to, be on defense, right? where they feel like they've got to fight. So you want to use I statements. I don't like when this happens, or I feel like this is happening. Hey, girl, hey. So you want to make sure that you start with I statements. um, so for instance, instead of saying, you always call me at inconvenient times, right? So we don't want to say, you always call me at inconvenient times. Try saying, exactly. You say I instead of you so they don't feel attacked. You're right, Rose. So the example that I have is, instead of telling a person, you always call me at inconvenient times, we want to say, I need to have uninterrupted time in the evenings to relax. Y'all see how we flip that? So we don't tell them, you always calling me in the evening when I'm trying to relax with my boo. We say, I need an uninterrupted time in the evening to relax with my boo. Right? So this gives them clarity. So then you've set the boundary. You've placed it in line. It's like I say, I don't work on Sundays. So I have a boundary saying that I don't stream on Sundays and that I don't work on Sundays. So my online community is aware that they probably won't see me on Sunday. So I've placed the boundary right there. I put it there. Boom, do what you want with it. Now, there are certain people who will now try to overstep that boundary. They will send you a message that says, I know you don't work on Sundays, but I just wanted to message you to see da 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 da. Okay, well, now I've got to enforce my boundary, right? So I have to then say, either A, just don't answer it because you're already aware that I don't work on Sunday. Or I break my boundary and I do what they want or respond, right? So you've got to be clear with what your boundary is, and you have to be willing to enforce it. Um, and it's about you, it's not about them. So that's why I always say, like, start with the I statements, because your boundaries that you are setting are about you. So this is what I need, this is what I want, this is what I desire. And it has nothing to do with the other person or the other parties. Okay? It's all about you, it's nothing about them. So when you place your boundary and when you say what it is, it needs to be all focused on you. This is what I need. This is what I'm doing. This is where I'm going. This is what I desire. Now, if they choose to try to overstep or whatever, then, I mean, again, we have no control over the other people. Just because we set the boundary, it doesn't mean they're going to do it. But then we have to understand what it looks like for that next step. So if I set this boundary, and I'll use myself again as an example for me not working on Sundays. If I use that and then a person says, hey, I know you don't work on Sundays, but, and then they continue to go into whatever it is, I have to then determine, how do I want to enforce this boundary? Right? Like, I've got to be the one to say, hey, okay, on Monday, respond to the message from Sunday, even though it probably won't be any point at that time. Or maybe I come back and I tell them, then I don't work on Sunday. Try to get someone else to do it, right? I have to figure out how I want to continue to respect my boundaries and maybe keep that relationship open or keep that communication open. So you've got to be willing, like I said, to be direct and specific about your boundaries, but you also have to stand on it. Okay? You've got to make sure that you're enforcing your boundaries. And of course, that leads us into the next one, which is consistency. Consistency is key. It is crucial when it comes to maintaining your boundaries, right? It is not enough to just set a boundary. You have to enforce it. Okay? This means standing firm. Exactly. Stand on it. 10 toes down. I said what I said. This is what it is. Okay? So this means standing firm even when it's challenging. And sometimes it's necessary to reiterate your boundaries, right? Sometimes you got to tell people no, because what I said was, right? What I had said was, reminding people, if they forget or if they start to overstep your boundaries. Consistency also shows that you are serious about your well-being. So in the beginning, when I first set this boundary of me not working on a Sunday, or me not being available in the evenings. I was fluid with my boundary. So I would have people who would want me to show up and, co-host events in the evenings. And so I was like, oh, well, I could do it this time, or no, maybe I'll do it next time. And so what was happening is I had set that boundary in place of, respecting time with my husband. So when I wasn't standing on my boundary, then I was being disrespectful to the union between my husband and I, because we had discussed wanting to have more time together in the evenings and having time on the weekend. So when I wasn't in the beginning, when I wasn't really standing on my boundary, what I was doing was showing my husband that he was an option and not a priority. Thank you, Mira. And so what you don't want to do is, when you put this boundary in place and then you start to play with your boundary, you start to, be fluid with the boundary, then you're making whatever it was an option. You're making, whatever this boundary that you designed, if it is to protect you or give you more time with someone, you're making that person optional. You're making that person not feel like a priority. And so, my husband had to hold me accountable and call me on it. And I was like, oh God, you're absolutely right. You know what I'm saying? Coach need to be coached sometimes too. And so I had to go back and I had to be firm on my boundaries. Listen, this is what it is. I'm not available after 6 o'clock and I'm not available on Sundays, and get somebody else to do it. Prepare to others, because listen, I love this man and I love my marriage. So this boundary has to be firm. Right? And people are like, oh, what about in the event of an emergency? Well, baby, you dial 911. Most of what people deem to be an emergency isn't really something that you can help them with anyway. So make sure that you're being consistent and that you're being firm. Now, it is necessary sometimes for us to be flexible, in a sense that maybe we set a boundary and we didn't really think that boundary through. And so now we have to be a little flexible in how we do things. But that is determined by you. So maybe you've set a boundary and it's too hard for you to live up to. It's too hard for you to maintain. And at that point, you might have to go back and reevaluate to say, you know what? I need to tweak this a little bit. Right? Maybe instead of 6 o'clock, maybe I need to drop it down to 7 so I could be more accountable. Because it's about me, right? Or maybe not all day Sunday. Maybe I'll have like an hour available and then nothing else. Or I'll just respond to messages only, no calls, no, appearances, things like that. So, again, you want to make sure that you're being firm. You want to remember your why. If you're setting a boundary, there's a reason for it. And so remember the reason, right? Whether it is a person, your relationship, whether it's just you and your mental health, right? Remember the reason why you're setting the boundary. So then that way you can go back and reevaluate if you need to tweak this boundary. Hey, Monica, if it's necessary for you to tweak the boundary or anything like that. So then that way it's easier for you to stay firm on it and stand on that business, right? Stand on that boundary. So far we've got understand what your values and needs are. We've got communicate those clearly. And then we got be consistent, right? So now I'm going to teach you guys how to say no, right? Because there is a very easy formula for saying no. And I know that saying no is one of the hardest things for some people to do, right? But most important aspects of boundary setting begin with learning to say no. It is saying no to them and yes to you. Right, Jesse? Saying no to them and yes to you. Right? Welcome back, MJ. So here is a very easy 5-step formula to effectively saying no. And I want you guys to put these in the chat. I want y'all to put them in the chat so that way y'all can screenshot it. Or y'all just grab a pen and y'all write these down. All right? So step 1 in learning to say no. Lead with the positives. Lead with the positives. So when someone comes to you to ask you a question or ask you for something, right? And we know the goal is for us to say no, but we're having a hard time just saying no, right? So the first thing that we want to do is we want to lead with the positive. I always start with a compliment. The compliment does not even have to be on target. The compliment doesn't have to have anything to do with what they ask for. When a person comes to me, I'm gonna always just start with a compliment. If I'm right there in front of them, if I can see them, I'm like, "Oh, I like your hair. Oh, those glasses is cute. Are those new earrings? This is cute." Right? You always start with something positive. All right. So you want to lead with positives. It sets the tone for you being. It's like it sets the tone for you being nice. It's a kindness thing. It's a mind trick, you guys. It's a mind trick. So you want to lead with the positive. Start with a compliment. Like I said, it'll kind of set the tone for what's coming up, right? We want to let them down gently. So step 2 is to give your answer, which in this situation our answer is no, right? So step 2, after we've given them a compliment, after we've led with the positive, we're going to give our answer, no. Now, remember, no is a complete sentence. Okay? So, y'all don't even have to think about what you're going to say, because we owe no explanation. I said no. No. I'm not going to be able to do it. No. I won't be going there. No. I don't have that to give. Right? So, remember, no is a complete sentence. You have to be clear and direct. I always say start with a clear and concise no. And, sometimes if you're trying to figure out how you tie the positive in, that compliment can simply be a thank you. Right? It could be flattery. That's a positive thing. So if somebody comes and asks me something, I can say, "Oh my gosh, thank you so much thank you for thinking of me. When you needed to borrow $100. Thank you for thinking of me. You be making me feel like I'm fiscally responsible, shoot. But no, I don't have $100 to give you today." Right? And it is optional if you decide to give someone a brief reason. Some people always feel like they have to give some sort of example, some sort of reason as to why they're not able to do it. Me personally, no means no. I have learned over the years that typically when I say no, they don't hear whatever's next. So I'm done wasting my breath. And I really just want to be out of the situation anyway. So I keep it short and sweet. No, I'm not able to do that this time. Because most of the time they're coming to you because you've done it before. You've established this pattern of being there to rescue people. We cap and save a hose and what have you. So people are always going to keep coming back to you. But no, I'm not able to do that today. No, I don't have the capacity for that today. No, I don't have the time for this today. No, I lack the desire to do that at this point. I'm not available. So again, if you are a person and you feel like you struggle with just saying no, period, right? Making no your complete sentence, then you can provide a very brief reason. But make sure that you are only offering a very simple reason and you're not over-explaining. Because then if you start over-explaining, honestly, I feel like if you give a reason at all, now you're opening it for debate. You're giving this person the opportunity to negotiate. Okay, well, you don't have 100. Do you got 50? Okay, I understand that you can't come for 2 hours. Can you pop in for 1? Oh, well, since you can't do this, could you just drop this off? Like, I know you can't come to the party, but could you still bring a cake and just drop it off and leave? No, so I'm just going to simply say no. Less is more in this situation. So if someone is inviting you somewhere and your answer is no, you can say, "Oh, thank you so much for the invitation, but unfortunately I have other commitments that require my attention." So that means I'm not coming. I'm not going, right? So then number 3 is show your appreciation, right? We're going to default back to gratitude. Show your appreciation and thank them for the opportunity. So if I was to tie this together, we're going to do 1, 2, and 3 together. I'm like, oh my gosh, thank you so much for the invitation. But unfortunately, I have other commitments that require my attention. But again, I do thank you for inviting me. That is so sweet for you to ask me to come. I just thank you. You see how easy that is? And it sounds real nice. It's like you shut them down real gently. So you want to make sure you're showing them appreciation and thanking them for the opportunity. And then people say, well, how do you do that with money? Okay. So let's say people come to you and they asking you for money. Let's get through steps 1, 2, and 3. So somebody come to me, they ask me for money, and I'm like, oh girl, your hair is cute. Because first of all, she probably asking me for money because she spent it all on her hair. So I'm going to go ahead and state the obvious. I mean, I still be a little petty. I'm a work in progress, y'all. I'm healing, okay? So I'm going to compliment that fresh hairdo. And I'm thinking to myself, you probably had $100 if you didn't go get them braids done. But baby, I mean, we here now, okay? Right, Tommy? Tell them, we here now. So I'm gonna lead with the compliment. I'm like, "Ooh, girl, your braids is real cute. Did you just get those done? Yeah, those is cute." But yeah, unfortunately, I don't have $100 available right now. You know, thank you for asking me though, cause honey, usually I be real. You know, I'm real quick to give, but I just don't have it to give today. You know, so you still just thank them for even coming to you, because a lot of times, and that means, you know, these people do value you. These people do trust you if they're coming to you and asking you these things. So I do want to thank you for that you recognize that I'm more responsible with my money than you are, right? Or that you value my time and you wanted me somewhere, you wanted me to do something, right? You trust me to watch your kids, you know? What up, Marcia? All right. So we made it through steps 1, 2, and 3. Now, step 4. You want to encourage them and provide guidance when possible. Y'all, this is the PTO step, okay? If you don't remember nothing else about step 4, remember this is where y'all prepare the others, the other opportunities, the other options, whatever. So step 4 is encourage them and provide guidance when possible. You want to suggest an alternative if you can. Perhaps someone else can do it. Now, y'all, don't be throwing nobody under the bus when it comes to money. What up, Serenity? Don't be throwing people under the bus when it comes to money. The only time I say do not prepare to others, okay, is when it comes to money. Somebody trying to borrow some money from you and you done gave them steps 1, 2, and 3. Don't tell them, maybe you should go ask your mama. Like, don't turn into the debt collector on them, y'all. Talk about, well, do you have anyone else that you could borrow it from? Would anyone else in the family be willing to loan it to you so you could pay your debts? Don't be that girl. Don't be that guy, y'all. Okay? But you can still encourage them. You know, when people want you to do something, right? Let's say somebody just wants you to do something. I always say, like, somebody wants you to bake a cake. Yes, ma'am. We back working and grinding. The hustle never sleeps, right, Serenity? So let's say you make really good cakes and somebody wants you to make a cake, but you done already told them steps 1, 2, 3, and 4. Or I'm sorry, steps 1, 2, and 3, and now we on step 4 where we want to encourage them, right? We say, oh yeah, you know what? Thank you so much for asking me. I'm not, I don't have the capacity or the ability to make a cake for you last minute for your party that starts in 1 hour. But, you know, maybe you could go over to, and you name the store or something, and you'd be like, maybe you could go somewhere and, pick up a cake. Maybe you can go to the bakery. I mean, it's not going to be my cake, but I'm sure it'll still be a good cake. I'm sure you'll find other resources to do so. Then they're going to tell you, oh, well, just give me the recipe. No, baby, I'm not going to do that because, But maybe you could find a similar recipe that you might like online. Right? So you just want to encourage them to go do it themselves. You want to empower them to go off on their own and get it right. Right? So you provide guidance when possible and just simply suggest an alternative if you can. All right? If nothing else you say, but you still got an hour before the event, so I'm sure that you'll figure something out. You're resourceful. But girl, I know you know people, honey, so I'm sure you'll find somebody who can. Right? So you just want to be encouraging, right? And then number 5, stand firm. 10 toes down, y'all. Stand firm. You done made it through steps 1, 2, 3, and 4. Ain't no backing down now. As the song said, ain't no stopping us now because we on the move, right? So stand firm. Repeat your refusal if necessary. So y'all, if y'all got somebody who's trying to haggle you, if you got somebody who's trying to negotiate this boundary with you, you may need to repeat that no. Like, yeah, girl, I see you trying it, but no, no. It's no. And this is one of my favorite parts, y'all. You can change the subject or simply excuse yourself. So if you're face to face with the person, this is a great moment to just say, I gotta go to the bathroom. If you are, if it's at work, and let's say someone's in your office, you can politely dismiss them. If you happen to be like in a common area somewhere with someone, you just kind of get up and leave. So it doesn't matter where you are, what you're doing. Either try to change the subject. Me and Blue always joke around. We be like, how about those bears? If we say, how about those bears, honey, it means we in an awkward position and we trying to get up out of it. Those bears, the bears, right? Or for me, where this gets funny for me is when I'm on the phone, because that's typically where I have to enforce my boundaries the most with folks. So when I'm on the phone, I can do, hold on, y'all, I got to turn this fan on. When I'm on the phone with people, I say really random, weird things to try to get off the phone. So I'm the type of person where I'll be like, oh, I've got through steps 1, 2, 3, and 4. I repeated myself. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to do that. And this person still won't let go. So I'm like, girl, let me call you right back because this damn dog out here walking the fish. I'll call you right back. And I just hang up. I excuse myself. I dismiss myself. Because at this point, now I feel like you playing with me. I done already complimented your hair or said nice things to you. I said no, right? So I'm a person who believes in asked and answered. That should be a blessing to y'all. You asked the question, I answered the question. There's no going back. This was never a negotiation. You didn't call me and say, hey, can I negotiate some money out of you? Can I haggle you out a few dollars? No, you said, can I ask you a question? So you asked and I answered. So at this point now, I just feel like you're playing with me. So I just want to play with you too. So then I'll just make up something real outlandish. The penguin out here walking the daggone bird again. Let me call you right back. Hold on. There's a bald-headed man with an afro at the door. I gotta get this. Let me call you right back. Right? So I throw out something very outlandish because really at this point, I feel like you're wasting my time. And so now I want to waste yours. I'm going to hang up and give you something to think about. So now you sitting on the other end of the phone talking to Tony because, listen, I done told you no. You know what I'm saying? So now you sitting there trying to figure out, wait, what did she say? Honey, I'm gone. It don't matter what I said. I'm gone. I'm out of here. It's a no for me. It's a no for me. Let me turn this fan on, y'all. Hold on. Y'all know this is the hottest room in the house. All right, so again, we made it through our 5 steps. We led with the positives. We gave our answer. We said no. No means no. Provided a brief reason if necessary. Let me just tell y'all, it ain't never really necessary. So you could just say no. Show your appreciation. Thank them for the opportunity. Encourage them and provide guidance when you can, if possible, if you want to. And most importantly, stand firm. Stand on your no. Let your no be no. Don't have your no be maybe. Don't have your no be I'll think about it. Stop telling these people, well, let me think about it. No, you already know your answer's no. So stop wasting your time and theirs. Let it be no. So most importantly, understand that no is a complete sentence. And I'm going to say this as plain as I can. You do not owe anyone an explanation for protecting your time, your energy. You do not owe anyone an explanation for protecting your time and your energy. That means your money, That means your time. That means your resources. You don't owe anyone an explanation for that. So, we can practice saying no to like the smaller requests to start to build our tolerance up, to start to build our confidence up for the larger ones. And in case ain't nobody told y'all, it is okay to put yourself first. It is absolutely okay to put yourself first. If I'm running around here teaching y'all to put the mask on yourself first, baby, listen, I am an advocate for I come first. My feelings matter first. Why? Because it's me. Why? Because I love me. Why? Because I deserve. Why? Because I am worthy. So it is absolutely positively okay to put yourself first. All right. So we've learned how to say no to these people, right? Make sure y'all take y'all screenshot of that. They got it right on TikTok. I don't know what y'all was doing down here. Y'all ain't take y'all's notes. I hope y'all wrote it down, because then y'all gonna be calling me like, what was step 3? And I'm gonna be like, I don't know. So the next thing that I have is about dealing with pushback. All right, dealing with pushback. I don't know what they doing over there on Bigo, girl. They not taking notes or something. I don't know, but they gonna be calling, and I'm like, you better ask somebody on TikTok, because they took notes. Kale put it right there on the screen for them, girl. Dealing with pushback. So we know inevitably that we are going to face pushback when we set these boundaries. But we've got to stay firm, and we've got to reiterate our limits in a calm, assertive manner. It is natural for us to feel guilty sometimes. However, all right? What up, Demi? Hey, Lee. However, we've got to remember that setting boundaries is about taking care of ourselves. Us setting boundaries is not about hurting someone else. It is about not getting hurt ourselves. So the people that truly respect you will 100% understand and accept your boundaries. Thank you, Demi. Like, what is it? Dr. Seuss says that those who mind don't matter, and those who matter won't mind. Okay? So when it comes to your boundaries, the people who mind, the people who got a problem or have issue with the fact that you have a boundaries, or that you have boundaries, the people who are disturbed by it, the people who mind it, baby, them people don't matter. Them the people that you need to push off to the side anyway. Right? Because they're not respecting you. They're not respecting the fact that you're advocating for yourself, right? And see, when you say, hey, you know what, I'm not available to do this, I can't do this, don't want to do this, don't like this, ain't got this, whatever it is, right? When you set that boundary and somebody was like, oh, okay, no problem, that's cool. I didn't realize that you didn't work on Sunday. Just hit me up tomorrow. Yeah, baby, them the people that you keep. Right? Them the people who, they don't even need a reason. Oh, you're not available? That's cool. My bad. I didn't realize it. Enjoy. Them the keepers, baby. Them the ones that you hold on to. Who was it? Gerald Levert, when he said, baby, hold on to me because I'm a special kind. Listen, them the people that's hard to find. I'm telling y'all, you got to hold on to them ones. So again, just remember that the setting the boundaries is about taking care of yourself. It is not about hurting other people. It is a form of us prioritizing our self-care, which of course is the next step. Y'all know that I'm all about self-care. Right, Demi? Like, if they don't know nothing else, honey, I'm gonna give you a little word about some self-care. So setting boundaries is a big step in prioritizing your self-care. So, we prioritize our physical health by getting regular exercise and eating well and getting enough sleep. We nurture our mental health by doing mindfulness exercises, hobbies, and spending time with loved ones. So when you take care of yourself, You're reinforcing the message that, listen, I love me. I value me. I'm worthy of taking the time to care for myself. I'm worthy of staying hydrated. So when we start to set these boundaries, because no, I'm not able to go here, or no, I can't hang out with you here because I got shit to do. I got places to go. I got people that I'm placing extra value in, extra priority in. So I can't come out here and hang out with y'all, with people that I don't like, because I got somebody right here that I love. And if it ain't nobody actually sitting next to me, the person that I'm talking about sitting right here that I love is me, baby. So I cannot, in good faith, keep going and hanging out with people that I don't like. Like, let's be honest. It was very difficult um for me to set boundaries when, let's say I got a friend and I like hanging out with this friend, but I don't like my friend's friends, right? So now I got to make the decision. Do I want to go out and have fun with my friend, knowing that I'm going to be disturbed by their friends? So I had to learn, yeah, no, you know what? Everything ain't for me to go to. Me and my friend can have fun somewhere else, doing something else without them. And so, like, even growing up, me and my best friend, me and Ro, we were best friends, and we had completely different friends. There weren't too many mutual friends that she and I had. So I had her, she had me, we had our other friends. And occasionally, of course, there's going to be situations, birthdays, some holidays, you know, a few random trips where I'm going to go with her and her friends. Yo, absolute shit show every single time. Or she would come with me and my friends. Again, absolute shit show every single time. So we had to learn very early on to stop inviting one another to these situations. And y'all, I wish she was in here today, because Ro would tell you, I tell no lies. We had to stop inviting each other to, you know, certain events where we would have to tolerate each other's friends. You know, I understood that her friends did something for her and poured into her life in a way, and she understood that my friends did something for me that poured into my life a certain way. But there was no reason that we had to involve the other in that piece. Now, of course, if it's a birthday, holiday, some sort of event, whatever, yeah, we gonna pull up. But outside of that, we set our boundaries. Hey, I don't like your friends, and you don't like my friends, but that don't mean we can't be friends. So we would just go off and do our own thing. You see what I'm saying? And she knew that about me. She knew that I didn't want to show up and hang out with people that, you know, I don't like, that I don't get along with, that I don't relate to. So she wouldn't put me in these awkward positions, and the same that I would do for her. So that was us valuing our friendship, valuing each other, and also prioritizing our needs. So then we don't have to feel guilty about it. So if you go out with your friends and you don't invite me, baby, I don't feel guilty about it. I don't like them people. Catch you next time. If I go out and do something and I don't go with her, listen, she like, I don't really care. I don't like your friends anyway. I'll see you later when you get back. Enjoy. So make sure that you're prioritizing your self-care, understanding that setting boundaries, those having those limits, is a form of your self-care and something that, you know, you deserve. And so, you know, when you're taking care of yourself, like I said, you're reinforcing the message that you value yourself, that you respect yourself, and that you care about yourself. What up, Nikki? Hey, Wanda girl. All right. So remember, I talked about flexibility before. The next tip is reevaluating regularly. We understand that life is dynamic, right? We're going to have highs, we're going to have lows, things are going to shift, we're going to change seasons, our mood, whatever, right? So it is important that we regularly reassess our boundaries to ensure that they're still serving us. We're not reassessing our boundaries to make it convenient for other people, because our boundaries aren't about the other people. So we're going to make sure that we reassess our boundaries to ensure that they're still serving us. We've got to be flexible and willing to adjust as necessary, as it is convenient for us. Understanding that this is an ongoing evaluation, which will help us stay chimed in or in tune with our evolving self, and it helps us to maintain these healthy boundaries. Now, y'all, don't be reassessing your boundaries every day, changing things, because then people can't keep up. Then y'all gonna lose everybody because they're gonna be sick of you, or they're gonna report you to the people because they're gonna think you crazy. So when I say regularly reassess, that is not every day, because then it creates a state of confusion. I don't care if it's monthly. I don't care if it's quarterly. You have to check back in. If your boundary is no longer serving you, if your boundary is not protecting you, then you want to reevaluate it. You want to tweak it a little bit so that way you gain the benefits of it again. Thank you, Wanda girl. So again, reevaluating is definitely a necessity. There are some times where we set boundaries or we're having trouble with setting boundaries, and it's necessary for us to seek support, right? So understand that you don't need to be afraid to ask for support when it comes to your boundary setting journey. For some of us, it comes easily. For others, it is a very difficult thing to do. So I honestly recommend that you guys take the opportunity and take the time to share your experiences with the people that you trust and with the family that, respects you. Because then they will guide you to say, hey, this is all you need to do. This is all you need to say. They'll tell you, oh, you should have been told me that you're stressed out. Listen, we can pull back. We can do this. We won't do this. We'll start doing this, right? Because they respect you. So if you find it particularly challenging to set boundaries, then I honestly recommend that you consider seeking help from a life coach, a therapist, or a counselor. Professional guidance can help to provide you with a third-party view of things. Sometimes we need someone from the outside looking in to point out what we're doing. Hey, friend, thank you for the follow. We need someone else to kind of point out what should have been obvious to us in the first place. Sometimes we need someone who's on the outside looking in, because that person is not biased, right? They're not worried about other things that people who are in your life, they try to coddle you or they try to pacify you, right? Like, I don't want to be handled. I want to be told, this is what you're doing. This is what you're not doing. This is where, things are going wrong for you. Like, sometimes we need somebody from the outside to point that out to us. Y'all, when I go meet with my therapist, it'd be so funny because I show up and I think I'll be telling her something and I'll be like handling the situation. And I'm like, yeah, but I did this and I did that and I did this. And she'll be like, I'm going to see you tomorrow. So we can actually address. Because this is what you thought you were doing and this is what you were actually doing. And I'll be like, okay. But that's why I pay her. That's why I pay that therapist, to help me see what I don't see. So it's like some of us, we have those good friends where we can tell our friends a situation that's going on and they're like, girl, quit lying. You know good and well that's not what Tyrone did. You know good and well that ain't what that means. Hey, family, how are you? So you got to definitely, reach out and seek support. And like I said, if you don't feel like you're getting that support within your friend network, your social groups, or your family, then at that point you need to start tapping into other resources. Y'all, talk to you a life coach, a therapist, get a counselor. Start finding, someone who can help you. If your immediate family or your current friend group can't do it, go get you some help. You deserve it. And there are definitely low-cost options to be able to do it. But whatever it is, get you some help. Y'all, buy a book. Listen to a podcast. Do something. But get you some help. So that way you don't keep tolerating things. You're not handling the pressure. As we said, you're moving into a season of being able to apply the pressure. So then, as we start to finish up, we've also got to remember that we've set boundaries and other people should be encouraged to set boundaries too. So we have to make sure that we are respecting other people's boundaries. As worthy as you are, baby, you got to understand that other people are worthy too. So you can't put these boundaries in place and then not respect other people. Respect is reciprocal. So just as you are setting boundaries for yourself, you've got to respect the boundaries of others. It is a mutual respect that will then create a healthier, more understanding environment. So by respecting other people's boundaries, it gives us it's a model for the behavior that you want to receive. So, okay, I'm married. I can't set my boundaries and then not respect my husband's boundaries and expect my husband to respect my boundaries. I'm going to say that again. So, as a wife, I cannot put boundaries in place and disrespect the boundaries that my husband has in place, then expecting him to respect mine. Parents, we have boundaries. Our children also have boundaries. We cannot expect our children to respect our boundaries when we don't respect theirs. And I know that that gets testy because, honey, kids be trying to set the most ignorant boundaries. Well, I don't do dishes. Well, then you don't live here, right? Then you don't eat. We encourage my son to set boundaries. And so my son thought that he could set the boundary of that he doesn't do dishes. And I was like, oh, well, that's good to know. But it's cool because then that also means you don't eat, right? That means that you're self-sufficient and that you'll find your own meal. Or he's like, oh yeah, I don't do this. I respect that boundary. That's cool. I'm not gonna force you to do the dishes. Just like I'm not gonna force you to eat the food that dirties the dishes. So he had to go back and reevaluate his boundary because he understood where he went wrong in setting his boundary. But now, like a healthy boundary. So my son is 16, and even though he lives in my house, my son wants to value his privacy, so he asks that we knock before we enter. Now, if anybody know anything about a 16-year-old boy, I don't know who would just be walking in a 16-year-old's room without knocking anyway, because you never know what's happening over there. So I respect that boundary. Even though he lives in my house and I pay the bills here, right? I respect his boundary of us knocking before we enter. As long as he comprehends, after I knock, I'm gonna enter. And silence does not stop me from entering. So if I knock and you do not acknowledge my knock, I'm coming in. But if I knock and you say, hey, give me a minute or hold on, I'm not going to just bust in the room on you because, baby, I don't need to see all that. You know what I'm saying? I done seen everything I need to see when you was a baby and I changed you. Now I don't want none of that. Okay? So again, I've got to respect others' boundaries. And now it makes it easy because my son does not just bust in our bedroom. My son now knocks and waits for a response. So that was a reciprocal respect. All right. So again, just make sure that you are respecting other people's boundaries. So that way you're modeling the behavior that you wish to receive. Even now on my office door, I have hung a sign because a lot of times I'm either in here with a client or I might be recording and people would just bust in the room. And so I'm like, okay, well, they don't know because I'm in here with the door closed often. I just like my peace, right? Or I want to keep the dogs out or whatever. But people would just always bust in. And then I'm like, oh, no, shh, Well, now I got the sign and I can flip it back and forth to say it's red and it says do not disturb, like meeting in progress or something like that. And then I can flip it over to green. And if the door is closed, green, it says I'm available, please knock. You know what I'm saying? So then that way they still, alert me that they're coming in. But if they see red, they know I'm not even going to open the door. We're not even going to bother because she's recording or she's with a client or someone's going on. So then that way it doesn't have to take away from what I'm doing. It doesn't have to be a distraction to what I'm doing. So again, that is me having a boundary for my family because I have a home office, but it is also me getting them to be able to understand, hey, I don't mind you being in here, but there are certain times when you can't be in here. And I don't want to always have to stop and say, hey, I'm recording. Hey, I'm with a client. So this way they know, hey, she's doing something. And they are aware, hey, if the sign's red and you need something in that moment, send a text. You know what I'm saying? Send a little message and I'll let you know if it's safe to come and grab something. Or, if you need me to do something, maybe I can still do that. So again, we're respecting each other's boundaries and reciprocating the appreciation for it. Hey Lonnie. All right, and so the last thing that I have for you guys, the whole point of us doing all of this, the whole point in us setting these boundaries is to affirm your worth. Affirm your worth. You are affirming your worth every single day. Y'all, I know the sign is red. Yeah, my teenager still just walked in, so that's why he got the good. Feel how you gonna feel, but that sign is red. In his defense, the sign has only been up for 2 days, so we're gonna have to negotiate this and talk about this, but I'm gonna have to remind him, you see red, don't enter. Red means stop, go on, keep it moving. Green means I'm available. That sign is not green. I know it's not. I turned it to red before I started, y'all. Okay, anyways, moving on. Affirming your worth. Affirm your worth every single day. Use positive self-talk to remind yourself that you deserve to have your needs met. Remind yourself that you deserve to feel respected. Celebrate your successes, no matter how small. Listen, a win is a win. I don't care how big, how small. Each step that you take setting and maintaining your boundaries is a step towards a healthier, more empowered you. So again, affirm your worth every single day. Get that positive self-talk going. Talk to you nice. There should never be a day that passes that you don't have something positive to say about yourself. There should never be a day that passes that you don't have a win to celebrate. So we celebrate all wins, big and small, because a win is a win. So, in conclusion, setting boundaries is a powerful way to protect your self-worth. It involves understanding your needs and clearly communicating them. So yeah, okay, let me wrap up real quick, y'all. So in conclusion, setting boundaries is a powerful way to protect your self-worth. We understand that it involves understanding your needs, communicating them clearly, and consistently enforcing them. By doing so, you create a respectful and healthy environment for yourself and others. Remember, it is okay to put yourself first and to prioritize your well-being because you deserve it. Everybody type in the chat, I deserve it. Come on, y'all. Thank you, Lita. Everybody put I deserve it in the chat. I deserve it. Thank you, CJ. I deserve it. I deserve it. That's right. Each and every one of you deserve it. We all deserve it. Okay? So we're not gonna let these energy vampires and these takers take what we don't want to give. That's our time, that's our money, that's our energy, that's our resources. Listen, we're done allowing the takers to take from us. If I do not put it on a plate and serve it to you, you cannot have it. If I do not extend it to you, you will not take it. I'm heavy on my boundaries, right? Why? Because I deserve it. So I'm going to constantly keep protecting me and doing what I have to do for me. Why? Because I deserve it. All right? So you guys remember that. If nothing else today, remember you deserve to set these boundaries. You deserve to prioritize your well-being and self-care. You come first. It's all right. I didn't actually see any emojis, so you're good. All right, so I do want to thank each and every one of you for being here today. Your presence, as well as your contributions, really do mean a lot to us here at the Self Care Club. Your support during our live stream directly benefits the Self Care Club LLC, enabling us to keep showing up, making a positive impact in the community. Your generosity fuels our mission, and it's why we're able to keep showing up every day to do what we do. If anybody has any questions, comments, if there's a story that you would like to share or a suggestion that you have for us, please feel free to reach out to us. If anybody wants any additional information about the Self-Care Club, or if you want to book a one-on-one personalized coaching session with me, I encourage you to visit theselfcareclub.org for more details. And until next time, take care of yourself and embrace the wonderful, unique person that you are. I hope to see each and every one of you again during our next live coaching session. We do meet weekdays, so Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So I hope to see each and every one of you again here tomorrow, 9 a.m. And go love on yourselves, all right? Listen, go evaluate the situation and start setting your boundaries, y'all. All right? Just immediately, it's a no. Hard no. Still that Texas boy, set your boundaries. Rose, respect the boundaries. Set your boundaries. Texas boy, respect the boundaries. Listen, it's an ongoing process, right? Raina, Lita, set the boundaries. Kale, Michaela, Wanda, set the boundaries. You guys can thank me later. All right, Lonnie? Y'all can thank me later.